Do you know what's going on? We have two make.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the 6:30 p.m. draw, the first draw of round 2 here at the 2018 Embassy Row Bonspiel, honoring the fine nation of Scotland. We know it's part of Great Britain, so it doesn't have its own embassy. Get over it. Coming up in this draw, we have the feature sheet on sheet B will be the Caber Crunchers versus On the Verge. Lance Wright, Richard Arnold, Alex Fu, Tidra Arnold are the Caber Crunchers. David Zimmerman, Dickie Van Sickle, Missy Van Sickle, and Michael Gardner will be the On the Verge team. We have 3 other games going on. Sheet A, Lockinger versus Fellowship of the Rink. Sheet C, Dauerheim versus Team Basel. And Sheet D is Sweeping Beauties versus Walsh. Teams are taking the ice now, so we will be bringing this game to you as soon as the action begins. Alrighty, as you can see, teams are shaking their hands, conducting the flip. We'll see who gets the hammer. We already know who the color is. Just a question of which team gets the hammer. I believe that is... I believe On the Verge, representing Curling Club of Virginia, got the hammer. I'm not 100% certain, but that is the way it certainly appears. My name's Alan McNeil. I'll be bringing all the action in this game.
Sometimes that's the toughest shot. Especially when there's nothing to play around on. Yeah. Looks light. I'd say sweep it, but leave it up to your judgment.
First stone is on its way.
Yeah, bring it, bring it.
And as you can see, it is a guard just off the center line.
Same thing, 3. Yes. You'll be able to tell later. All 3 tracks on yeah.
Next second stone of the game is on its way. It's trying to draw behind or set up a secondary guard up front.
Keep that weight. Keep that weight.
And it is a guard.
Nice shot.
Alex Fu, second for the Caber Crunchers, throwing his, well, he's playing lead in this game. He's throwing the second stone of the game.
Yeah, first straight base.
And his stone also looks like it's coming up possibly a little bit light.
Well, they did it last month. And then
Extremely light. In fact, it is in fact a hog stone. Just a reminder, everybody, if you're listening to the show, we do have the chat going on.
Let's go!
We do have the chat going on, so if you care to ask any questions or anything, or provide your follow-up scores on what's going on the other sheets, etc., feel free to pop that in there and ask.
Finish. Okay. All right. Good. Yes! All the way!
And I'm being joined on the headsets by TJ Kasser. Go ahead and say something here, TJ.
Hey, folks.
Not sure if I got you or not. Try that again.
Hey, folks. There we go.
All righty.
Give it a minute, cheers. It's a little stiff.
Not that it's ever a good idea to have me on the microphone, but hey.
Well, you know, it's a better idea than leaving me on this doing this by myself. So, all right, we are sneaking up on the end of second stones here. Yes, we are. Actually, the beginning of second stones. I'm sorry. And nothing in the house yet. We currently have a number of guards up front, a large number.
Yeah, bring it.
3.
I think on second stones that qualifies as a large number.
Yeah, pretty much. So
We
yellow.
are playing with the 5 rock rule now.
We are playing with the 5 rock rule. Yellow had the hammer, despite the fact that the far scoreboard makes it look like red does. So this is actually the first second stone that's on its way down the ice right now. It might actually make the never mind. We now have 4 guards out of 5 stones in front of the house.
Well, that's a mess in the yard there, isn't it?
Yeah, yes it is. All right, looks like, assuming that's Missy Van Sickle being asked to curl around the side. She's curling with, she's curling one of those interesting sticks that you have the stick and the broom in one thing. Kind of a interesting little technical decision there. So it looks like she's coming up a little bit narrow. She's going to tap some stuff, something lining up in the house now. A yellow stone spinning in, nope, spinning harmlessly through. We still have nothing in the house.
And still 4 guards.
Indeed, just a slightly different 4 guards.
A little bit more cheers.
So this is Deidre Arnold. I only know that because although it says the second is Alex Fu was throwing leads, so they must be flipping. Throwing her first.
Yeah.
Actually, it's her second stone.
Go ahead.
Being asked to draw it to go around. And again, the sweepers are working it as though it's not hard enough. And, well, frankly,
It's
it reversed
there.
handle. It reversed handle, so it kind of cut out to the outside. But it did, in fact, we have something in the house now. Completely exposed, out on the, pretty much on the tee, straddling the tee, in fact. Over here on the right-hand side of the sheet.
And normally I'd say that'd be easy for a lefty to go after, but with a stick, I think it's probably easy to go after too.
Yeah, it's probably, she's curling in on it. She's got an awful lot of rotation on that. And that's kind of a problem a lot of stick curlers have, is they end up throwing stones with a lot of rotation. I don't know if she always throws stick or if she's nursing an injury. On the other hand, she looks like she's right pretty much smack on the nose. Yep, nice
she got it.
Nose replace. Can't ask for much more than that. I mean, they might have liked it if she kind of hit the inside and rolled in, but I'm guessing she curls with a stick regularly, and I'm just guessing that since she's got the gear that gives her a stick interface and her broom on the same
I would agree.
thing. Usually, if you see somebody who's only temporarily using a stick, they'd be using like one of the club sticks or something like that.
You would think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't look like control to me.
So this is Richard Arnold, Vice, throwing his first stone. That's not true. That is...
All the way and you roll.
Ooh.
Either tap guards up or guarded.
That may have just caused them a little more trouble.
Okay, assuming he's wearing his own jacket. Oh, no, first Vice stone. Okay. That was Richard Arnold throwing his first stone. The mismatched hammer now at the other end's got me totally confused. And Dickie Van Sickle throwing his first skip stone. A little unsteady, but...
See first Vice stone?
What did I say?
You said skip.
Yeah. Like a skip, only Vice instead.
There you go.
Curl, baby, curl.
He's being asked to draw, I assume.
Ooh.
Definitely didn't throw a hit. It's curling
Ooh.
nicely. I don't think it's got the distance.
I think that got
I don't
the
think it's got
breaks,
the
yeah.
legs. It does plug up the hole though, so that makes life interesting for draws and stuff.
It definitely
Yellow
does.
lying 1, a phalanx of guards above the house.
You need back line weight.
As Richard Arnold prepares to throw his second stone.
Back line. Hers runs pretty straight.
They're asking him to throw back line. They're saying the line is straight on that curl. On the curl they're asking for, it is straight. He's pretty right.
Yes, yes.
You know, from playing on that sheet earlier ourselves, I would actually probably agree. I think out there, the line is fairly
This
straight.
curl, yeah, curling from the left to the right is earth is deathly straight. Curling from the right to the left, it moves. We'll put it that way. But it did move a little bit more than expected. It didn't hit the hole. It just kind of taps around some of the guards up top.
Okay, good wait.
Guards, yeah, guards. And Dickie Van Sickle, and it is Dickie according to the official registration. It's not Dick. It is Dickie.
That last one was right up there.
Is preparing to throw. He's being asked to throw. I think he's looking to take that red out.
Yes!
That seems
Line's good.
or they were just using that as a reference point for the draw in, maybe.
Switch!
Because he doesn't have hit weight. He's on one of the top yellow guards, in fact. So that's going to chip in. There's going to be a little bit more contact. Is something else going to make the house?
Ooh.
Not quite.
But that was a good effort. Wow.
Pinball occurred, but not successful. So we are now preparing for the first skips stone of this game, despite the fact that I've been trying to tell people that skip stones are happening for 5 minutes now. Lance Wright will be doing something. He's figuring it out. It's kind of a complicated mix for the first end. At least it's not the first end of the Bonspiel. These guys are in their second game. If I recall correctly, both of these teams will have lost their first. The sentence may not be correct.
Do you want me to go check the...
Sure.
All right, I'll be right back. I'll go check the bracket.
I know both of these teams had the same result in their first game. I'm just not sure what the result is. Fortunately, my technical team will find out and let me know momentarily. The very Natalie attired Lance Wright, going right with the theme for the event. He's got his Utilikilt, he's got his Scotch bonnet, regimental sweater. Basically, he's ready to curl. And the knee pad is optional, of course. He's cleaning off his stone right now. He's being asked, looks like he's expecting to take out the yellow that's in the house. He's got a tight line on it.
This is, in fact, the first games of the B event.
So these teams both lost the first. They're the first.
They played on the edge sheets during the first games.
So they may not know anything about this. Of course, during Bonspiels, they try to mix it up. And okay, I don't think he wanted. He threw an attempt at a hit. He wanted to hit the yellow. He overcurled. All he really did was tapped his own guard through the house. Didn't really change the situation dramatically at all. We still have one yellow stone in the house over in the right hand as you're looking at it. 8 foot. No real particularly noticeable raise candidates. Maybe that yellow just short of the house on the center line. Can he get there?
Well, that one, or, you know, if you think about it, if they can get it out far enough onto the wing and have it curl back, you could come in through that port towards the yellow stones in the house.
Yes, I was looking specifically for tap candidates. The only candidate might be that yellow on the center line, and that would be asking a lot to get there.
It would indeed.
So looks like they're going to play something in the draw family. Although I'm not actually sure because the Vice hasn't actually put the broom down. Now the skip is still walking down to the end, so it's not really critical yet. But I'd really love to know. They still don't know. They're having a big old discussion at the house end. I'm not sure why. There's a little bit of a dispute going on down there. I'm not quite sure what's up with that. Regardless, the skip has finally thrown, or the skip is in the hack. The Vice is in the house. The broom is down. Looking for an in-turn coming off from the edge of the 8 foot, basically just looking to draw in. Feels tight, because it's already well inside the broom. Oh yeah, it's crazy tight.
Wow. Are they holding it?
No, not at all. It's going to tap the red guard. The question is, how much is it going to put on it?
Uh-oh.
It gets it in the house. Doesn't make it shot, but it does put it in the house. Excuse me. Yellow still lies 1. Red does now have a stone in the house. So, you know, progress. red ready to throw their last stone of the end. Big old discussion. It's a tactically complicated house. There may only be one stone in the house, but there's a lot of options out front. Although a lot of them are covered by other stones, so there's not really any options per se. There's a lot of pinball. You can play pinball. And actually, that kind of looks like that looks like what they got in mind. I think they're going for a tap promote, a raised tap promote.
It's the only thing I think I can see in this
from this line, because the skip has the broom out on the edge, as we're staring at it, right-hand inner edge of the 12-foot, which there's no draw line from there, so all they can be doing is tapping the yellow onto the red, trying to tap the red to the tee. And frankly, if he pulls it off, it's an excellent shot. Probably clinches the steal, because it'll be very well protected. It might be a little heavy, but it is touching. It is moving 2 stones. So they're sweeping it hard. Danger, of course, is he could chip the yellow in, which is exactly what he
just did.
And that has chipped in far enough that yellow is lying 2, and they have the hammer, which is getting thrown now. Tricky part is no idea what to do. All he needs is paint. Well, no, he actually needs full 12.
He needs full 12, but I think that's easily gettable if you come down the side.
Sure, but would you want to throw a stone to the edge of the sheet in the first end of a game where, frankly, you haven't really been calling lines well the whole time?
This is why I play lead. I don't have to make these decisions.
Yeah, see, I play skip. I do not enjoy he's doing what he has to do. I'm not saying that. What I am saying is there's no skip out there that enjoys. I mean, John Schuster wouldn't like this shot. He'd be willing to throw it, but he wouldn't like it. Stone is on its way. It needs to be a little heavy because it's out. Everything's still a little frosty since the first end. But
I think it has the legs. Or no. Well, there goes the shoot.
The vice is coming out there to try to help. Still moving pretty well. It might get there. Might get there. Might get there. Might get there. Did not get there. Yellow takes 2.
Ooh.
Yellow takes 2 to go up 2-0 after 1. All right. We also have a score update on sheet A. Lockinger took 2 to go up 2-0 over Fellowship of the Rink. Yellow took 1 on C. Team Basel is up over Dauerheim 1-0. We do not have sheet 1. Its first end is still being played over there on sheet D, the Sweeping Beauties versus Team Walsh. So following the typical protocol, Sweeping Beauties and Walsh over on D is also a B event opening round game. And the games on A and C are A event second round games, teams that won their first draw. All of these teams played their first game at 9:30 this morning, or 9:30. So, they've had a nice long break, 2 draws and a scrape, so about 6-7 hours since they got off the ice. And they're playing their second one of the day. There will be one more draw after this one tonight, featuring the teams that played at noon, which I would include both myself and TJ. Might be giving me a little bit of credit to say I played at noon. I was on ice.
You played.
I participated. I got the silver in that game.
Happens to all of us.
Yeah. Happens to half of us, at least. All right, so first stone of the second end is underway. I was looking for center guard. It's going to overcurl a wee bit, but it's still going to be... you can still call it a center guard. I mean, it's covering the 4-foot, so it's still a center guard.
My skip beats me when I'm that far off the center line.
I'm not saying it's a good center guard. I'm just saying it is a center. So, Caber Crunchers gave up the 2 in the first end. Looking to draw beat. He's drawing behind. Or is he curling for corner guard? I can't read the spin of the stone. No, he
looks like he was called to draw behind, but
that ain't gonna happen.
No, I question the weight. Is he gonna paper it and get past? Oh.
Not sure I would be. I'm not sure I'd be going in right now.
It seems a very aggressive call for second end.
Yeah. It's a very aggressive call for the 10th end. But
And yet I play with enough skips who would call it.
that's what I would do. Some teams like to play in the house. Let it build up.
Yes, they do.
It's a recipe for a lot of small ends or giving up big numbers if you miss a lot of shots. Third stone at the end on its way. This is Michael Gardner. And it's coming in fairly smoothly.
That's all. Just let it go. That is enough.
Thank you for the reminder.
Stone is coming in. He's behind the tee.
Wrong handle, wrong line.
Yep, behind the tee. Probably shot though. More likely than not shot. So here comes Alex Fu throwing his second stone. He's being asked to remove the stone that was just thrown. And they finished the first end over on D. They're hanging a number now. It is a yellow 1. So Walsh up over Sweeping Beauties 1-0. Meanwhile, okay, that must not have been a hit, or it was a terrible misthrow, one of the two. So it's basically frozen to the other red stone that's in there, but there is some separation and there is some side-to-side overlap. They could both go if you hit it if you hit it firmly. And that looks to be exactly what David Zimmerman is requesting Dickie Van Sickle to do. No, I'm sorry, Missy Van Sickle to do.
Here we go.
And stick curler, so if she knows how to stick, she should be able to throw the way it needs to come back. She kind of missed the line. She put it. She gave it the stick shove at the end.
Oh.
And it's clicking her own out. Yep.
I say, you know, that device would actually be good for doubles for a stick curler.
Yeah. Although I would question if your knees are bad enough that you have to curl with a stick, are your knees good enough to catch up with your own stone and safely sweep?
Concur, but it's pursuant to a discussion that we were having online earlier about people who have to deliver with a stabilizer and play doubles.
Yeah. So, but she gave it that little. It's a problem that stick curlers have when they have to come up weight sometimes. It's so tempting at the end to go, I'm not going fast enough. If I just push it, I'll give it that little bit more. But the problem is if you extend the arm and give it the push, you've shot your line and you're going to be way outside on the hit, and it's just never going to work out for you.
And here comes a third right into that pile.
Right into that pile. Okay. And so although there is a pocket on the top two, it's actually not an easy pocket to get to because the yellow stone is in the way a little, although they're going to try it. See if she can avoid the push. And this one's coming right down the center line, so she should be able to avoid the push because she's really not trying to come out at an angle. Everything's going straight. She pushed it again. So she hasn't been curling with a stick all that long, or at the very least, she's very rarely asked to make hits because it's going to be an outside flash. Because she just her delivery, she pushed it off by the 1/4 of a degree, and it's the hardest thing to learn with a stick is how to resist that urge on takeouts. It's really, really difficult. It takes years.
I can imagine.
Deidre Arnold throwing her next stone. Are they just tossing another one into the pile here?
That's what it seems
Are
like.
they assuming that weight is, and by weight I mean volume of stones, is the best guard at the moment? I think it's a flash on the outside. It's a bit heavy. I think it's a slide through. Yep, it is. All right, so now it's Dickie Van Sickle. Already messing that up all game, just so you know. Now he's being asked to do the pocket hit, or Or alternatively, he doesn't mind the nose drive back on the one. Either way, he's being asked to make 2 red stones go bye-bye. He can't.
Starting to move.
Yeah, and I think it's going to move too much. I think he's going to take the yellow, roll over on top, and not really touch any of the reds. And to add insult to injury, nope, not true. His Yellowstone does stick around the edge of the 12-foot 4th shot, so not terribly relevant to the situation right now, but you never know. Lance asking Richard Arnold to add to the pile, I believe. I mean, I might be tempted to try to put something up in front of the pile at the moment, but
that's light.
So it's going to be in front of the pile. Here comes the curl.
I'd be concerned about the weight on that.
He's got the hog. And the question is, can they get it over far enough to actually be an effective guard? Kinda. If nothing else, Zimmerman has to convince him has to come the other way.
Yes.
Now, they've missed all their shots on the outside, on the other side, so maybe coming the other way is a blessing in disguise. Stone is on its way. They get the sweepers on it immediately. It looks like it's past the guard with despair. Looks to me like it's going to be right in the pocket. What's going to happen? Boom, 1, 2. Got the back one moving, but not enough to take it out. But it does change up the dynamics of the 4-foot at least.
Definitely, but now they're sitting 3 and 4.
Yes. And red has the hammer lying to. I think he called a guard. Called for a guard, which is probably a very defendable decision.
I mean, I could definitely agree with that at this point because now there is no idea of what the line is coming in for the draw on the other side.
Yeah,
everything's thrown on that side.
Yeah, nobody's thrown the cut in from over there. Ooh, does this have the hog? I am not sure this has the hog, or well, I guess it's the sheep line for this Bonspiel, but
feed
regardless.
the pig.
And did they get there? They're looking. They're still looking. They are not at all certain. Okay, Alex believes it's there. Yep, it's there. They made it. Good job. Good job eating the Wheaties for the sweepers.
It's never a good assignment. The skip has to come check in.
No, it is not. All right, so Zimmerman and Van Sickle discussing their options with their first skip stone. They do not have the hammer, so they would like to get rid of something red if they could. And frankly, they can. If they can drive the top red straight back, everything should go bye-bye. And there is no guard in front of it. So the question is just, what do you have to throw? Yep, that's exactly what he's lining up. So the question is, what do you have to throw to get to the nose? I think that's too much at a hit weight. I think they're giving it too much at the hit weight. I'm perplexed by this Vice who walks away from the broom spot that they discussed, and then comes back because I'm not sure he's put it back in the right. I'm not sure he's put it back where it was asked for.
Yeah, I think he's out another couple of inches.
Yeah,
it's begging for. It's just looking for trouble.
I don't feel like this is a good. Yeah, I don't feel like this is the right line for this shot, particularly not an A sort of hit weight. And then I think the Vice compounded it by putting. He's definitely throwing hard. On the other hand, they got it on it immediately, so that means they think it's over curling. I don't know why they think that. It's outside of the line and getting worse. All it's going to be is a tick. Definitely peeled the top, which I'm sure they're content.
It improved their situation.
Yes. Instead of facing 2, they're facing 1. But the team with the hammer can now put it back and still get their 2, and they'd be more than happy to trade a 2 for the 1. I mean, that's actually 2 for 2, isn't it? Yeah, never mind.
Got real
So he's lining it up, adjusting his knee pad, which I've got to believe a knee slider when you're curling with a kilt is probably essential. Excellent form. Delivery's on the way. Seems a little stiff for just to draw in. Seems a little stiff for a draw in, but then again, it was kind of outside, so it does kind of slow down there. Actually, it looks like he's got the house. Does he have a situation where did he just create a pocket?
He just created a pocket.
He just created a pocket. He just created a perfect pocket.
Those two are just sitting next to each other.
Yep. So all he has to do is blast those, and red is facing 3 with the hammer for a draw for 1. Now they'll have a lot of space to draw to, don't get me wrong. But still, it's never fun.
No.
That stone was just a little, frankly, what they should have done as soon as they realized that was deep. They probably, although it was deep, they should have kept sweeping. They should have at least swept it a foot or 2 further down, avoided this problem.
Bring it in for either frozen on it or something like that, yeah. Nudge
Well,
it back
they wouldn't have, they were outside of it, so they would have come past
I see what you're saying.
But at least it wouldn't have been a pocket. Whereas right now, there's no way saving, other than burning the stone or some other calamity, that at least one of those reds is not going away. It's too big of a target. You can't miss all of that. Yes! Stone is on its way. They got the sweepers on it immediately. I don't know if it's just general concern or what, because it feels like he's outside. I think he's got the outer of the stones. He does. Pretty much a nose. So
draw for 2.
Yeah, and with the full 8-foot. Not sure this is the direction. Well, this is the direction they've been throwing. So yeah.
True, but I agree with you. My first instinct would have been to go to the other side where you have more leeway.
Yeah, and also no risk of over curling and promoting the yellow that's on the center line of the top 12. I mean, they're going a wide enough line. There's probably not much risk of it anyhow. But I personally would be like, okay, let's eliminate any possibility of that. All right, stone is on its way. Sweepers got right on it.
Well, tight on line. Tight on line.
They're saying he's tight on line, but he had plenty of line to start with, so I don't think that's really a problem. Sweepers took a break for a second, but then they got back on, and all they really need is 8-foot. It's going to be tight. It's going to be close. It's going to be close. It's there, and it's not going through. Excellently executed draw. Red takes 2, ties this up at 2 after 2. 2s are wild.
On sheet C, we're also tied up at 1.
Sheet C, we're tied up at 1, indeed. That would be Dauerheim versus Team Basel, and no, D's still coming home. Okay. We are caught up. We'd like to welcome our audience out there on the YouTube. Thank you for joining us for quality Friday night curling here at the Potomac Curling Club, because it's Bonspiel season.
Yeah, exactly. What else would you want to be doing on a Friday night?
I can think of a few things, but
all those answers would be wrong.
This is up there on the list. I'd rather be still curling in the A event. Oh well.
Sorry.
And I got it. All right, third end underway. Caber Crunchers throwing their first stone.
Line's better. Line's good.
Cable Crunchers, by the way, came all the way up from the Triangle Curling Club down there in the Carolinas.
No.
Gorgeous place to go curling.
I haven't actually had the pleasure of being yet. I need to make it one of these days.
I have made it down there for one of their mixed doubles spiels, and it is fabulous.
I have heard that they got their own facility and they love it, and they're very happy. They were an arena club for years.
Yes, I remember.
They opened their new facility. This is their 3rd season in their facility? Second or 3rd?
I think it's 3rd, because I went down. It has to be at least 3rd, because I went down 2 years ago for mixed doubles.
Yay, math. And yeah, I've heard it's a very lovely thing. And they also took our title. We were the southernmost dedicated curling ice in the world.
Well, everyone lost it because Phoenix, but if you want the southernmost dedicated curling ice in the world, that would be Naseby. Now, the only dedicated curling ice in the Southern Hemisphere.
My fault, my fault. Wait, wait.
Really?
Naseby, New Zealand?
Nothing in Australia?
I'm fairly certain that Australia does not have dedicated ice.
I'm willing to believe you.
That is actually where the World Challenge will be the Martin Luther King weekend.
Excellent. I wish all those teams well, and I hope the United States is not playing there.
They should not be, but we'll know by the end of this
We
weekend,
know
too.
we know that the women will not be. The women have clinched their spot at Worlds by virtue of Brazil conceding it to them.
Correct.
The men have to play. It's this weekend, isn't it?
Yes, it is. They really said
And curling, in
Chaska.
fact. Yeah.
US versus Brazil and Guyana.
Yeah, they're playing a double round robin. So 4 games. Each team will be playing 4 games. The team that has the best record advances. The other 2 teams, well, no, the second place team will drop into the last chance qualifier, essentially, is what it's. There's an official name for it, but I don't remember what it is. And then the team that comes in third will unfortunately be done for the year, at least as far as world's competition goes. The U.S. is, of course, heavily favored. This will be the 4th time the U.S. has had to curl in the North American Challenge. The previous 3 times that they've played against Brazil, the U.S. has won every game.
But this is the 5th American Challenge.
Correct, because last year the United States was the host, so therefore Canada had to play in the challenge, which they did not appreciate at all. And they took their frustrations out on Team Brazil rather harshly, if I say so.
Yes.
I mean, they were polite about it and all because Canada.
Plus, to be fair, Mello is an awesome guy, and it's hard to not take it well when it's Mello.
But unfortunately, we just don't have enough teams that curl in this, or nations that curl over in this hemisphere to justify more than 2 spots, even with a 14-team field.
Hold narrow. Where's the weight?
Give them time. We might end up having to have a continental tournament. We'll still both have the U.S. and Canada winning.
Need about 2 more teams.
Mexico has a federation.
Yeah, apparently they're not ready for quads yet. They're playing mixed. That's how you start. All right. So while we were off babbling about world stuff, they've thrown 5. Count them 5 stones this end. And everything is guarded. That's not true. Not everything is guarded. There is 1 stone
in the house,
buried in the house, over on the right-hand side in the back 12, just touching, just gently kissing the back 8.
Yes!
Over on sheet A, it looks like Fellowship of the Rink has caught up.
It's tied at 2. So A, B, and C are all tied. We don't have the 3rd and 2nd end score on D. So we don't know what happened over there.
Come on, Vice, you have 1 job.
Well, that and covering the house while the skip is throwing.
Having fun.
You know, there's actually several jobs.
Yes.
It's harder to be a Vice than to be a skip sometimes.
These just have to tote the bags, drive the car, and buy the beers.
You make the, yeah, exactly. All right, what are we doing? We are curling, but what are we doing more specifically? We are a redstone. I believe we're trying to curl in the gap.
I have to imagine from the way that
We got to be drawing the hole.
What's heavy?
Just indicated they thought it was heavy. I think I see why. Well past the guard, no problem there.
Oh, wait a second. There's that thing just deployed a chute.
And slowing down. It's actually going to stick around in the back 8.
Wow, and it's undercover.
And it's undercover. It's about 5% exposed on the outside, but that's not anything I'd want to go for.
Early fly,
So it looks like David Zimmerman is asking Missy Van Sickle to basically follow it.
Yep, keep going, yep.
Which you can do. I mean, it's behind the tee, so.
Yeah. And that'll give you a shot to boot.
Now, the downside of stick curling is draws are a little trickier, and I don't think she got her line right. No, she didn't. She's well inside.
No, she's already, I think she's on that
well
top row.
inside. This is going to be a promoting. This is going to be a promote if it even has that kind of weight. I don't know.
It does, but how far?
It's got a tap. And oh yeah, oh boy, is it a promote. That is a huge, that is a
Disaster.
4-foot promote. That promoted into the 4-foot.
Throw the same way.
So yellow, no, I'm sorry, red buys 1, 2,
3.
3. Yellow does
Have
have
a
that
guard.
biting guard
You
up
can be
top.
white if you want.
Kind of looks like that might be what's actually being used at the
Go
moment.
light. Go light rather than heavy.
I didn't want to risk. Yeah.
Just try the same way.
Oh, I didn't realize Fellowship of the Ring was the Groves and Dobbs and not yet Mrs. Dobbs.
I mean, the only other thing is to feel that.
Although they have bought a house.
Yes, they did, and I've been enjoying the pictures of them doing the work to it.
That's an interesting game room they're putting together there. That's I saw that one.
Where is this?
The
The line is nice.
Line is beautiful. Weight, however, is crazy short. But on the other hand, if you're guarding,
That's great.
that's nice. That is nice and shiny, and Alex Fu is probably feeling very proud of himself, as frankly as he should.
When you're lying 3 without
was that
hammer,
Richard?
that's nice. That's
That
not a
Richard?
bad place.
That was actually Richard Arnold, not Alex Fu. I'm sorry. Although Alex should feel good too because he didn't ruin it with his sweeping. So. And Vicky Van Sickle being asked to change the situation, specifically by hitting things and making them go away. The sweepers are on it. A thing is about to be hit. A thing has been hit, but it was not really the thing he wanted to hit. Split basically just peeled off his own top yellow, which not terribly useful in the
Give me
situation.
another one.
Probably necessary, but not really useful.
Over on sheet D, we have a score update.
We
Walsh
do.
is up 5-0 now.
Ouch. So yellow got a 4.
Yes.
Okay then. The sweeping beauties apparently have not yet woken up.
Yeah, pick.
This feels light. This feels light even for guarding. And there's the takeoff. This ain't gonna guard nothing.
Nope.
Even if it gets over the hog, and I don't even think it's gonna. No,
Nope.
they've given up on it. That I feel like that picked something. That picked something up because that slowed down and took a sharp left.
Yeah, looking for a double
Dickie
ideally.
Van Sickle being asked again to change up the situation by hitting something red out of the way.
It's a good weight.
And there's a lot less in the way this time.
Oh!
His weight is good. I think he's wider for the shot that the skip really wants. No, he's gonna at least he hits the back one of them. So
Wow.
it's an effective cut.
With the graze off that lead redstone, too.
Certainly cut it to 1. Is it maybe 2 red? I cannot tell if the yellow or the red is second stone at the moment.
I wouldn't want to guess from here.
I feel like yellow might have the slightest nibble of the 8-foot, whereas red appears not to. But then again, I could be wrong. I've been known to be.
This is why we have great tools to figure out the answer if we can't figure it out.
Exactly.
Here.
That's why we have this micrometer on the end of a really long stick.
I'm guessing you might have to roll less, depending on how much you see of it.
We measure to 1,000th of an inch by putting a pin in a hole that is not microtolerance.
Yeah, I know.
It's close enough. No.
No.
To make sure we miss this.
I feel like Dobbs just hogged that over on sheet A, but I'm not going to say anything.
No, I think Dobbs got that in play. It's over.
No, hogged as it released the stone about 5 feet after the hog line. Lance Wright throwing his first stone of this third end. He's currently lying at least 1, maybe 2, and his 1 is well guarded. So he's just looking to guard his guard, it appears.
Is he, or is he looking to tap?
I don't think he's got enough on it to tap.
I don't think so either, but look at that.
And he doesn't really effectively guarded his guard either.
No. That's why I was wondering with that rate. You know, was it
Now, what that does do is that does keep any sort of idea of shenanigans of drawing around the guard and tapping the red, moving it. That idea is gone, but I don't think he could have got there with enough weight to affect things anyhow. David Zimmerman wandering back down to take his first shot. Turned around for a moment to reconsider. He's on his way back. This is a new team from the CCVA. I don't think I've seen these guys come up here for any of our events before.
I don't think so either.
And the team from CCVA that's usually here is not here for this.
Who are you thinking? You're thinking Travis?
Yeah,
But Sam's here.
that's true. Sam's here.
Sam's everywhere.
No, yeah. All right. I am assuming.
You know what happens when you assume.
Yeah, I know. But that David is planning on doing sort of a raised double E sort of make stones go bye-bye thing.
Which is what you would do in this case.
Exactly. Although I think he pushed it, and I don't think this is going to work. I think he has missed everything. He has not missed everything. He hit the top guard, and you know, actually, he did what he asked to do.
And now becomes the question.
Now, which one of those is closest? That was, I thought he had to clean this. Instead, he executed a beautiful double. Alrighty, what's Lance Wright going to do? Is Lance going to attempt to tap that red, that yellow, and eliminate any question about the?
That would be my idea.
That'd be a good choice, frankly. A gentle tap freeze on, basically. Freeze on it, tapping it just that inch to eliminate the question of the measurement. Or you could just go for an out-and-out hit of it, which is what he's actually doing. Yeah, maybe not. They need to get on this, or it's gonna curl past.
Uh-oh.
They may have waited too long. They're gonna get it.
They got
okay,
it.
They hung on. They hung on, just barely though. All they needed was to just swing over just a little bit more, and then they were gonna kind of cut out. All right, so it is hammer time, and David Zimmerman is, I assume, just going to kind of draw in and take his one and move on. I mean, all he has to do is get to the 8-foot with any significant.
Yeah, I mean, that's really all there is to do. I wouldn't risk the hit.
Yeah. It might have been worth attempting shenanigans back when the stone that was over there in the edge, in this edge, was his, but it's not anymore. This is not a draw.
Ooh.
Gotta move.
Or if it is a draw, it's a poorly thrown draw.
Good, swing. Get it there. Okay, that's good. Let up, let up. That's good. That's good.
I think he has achieved adequacy, especially if he brushes the inside. Uh-oh, this might go too far. No, yellow one.
Wow.
He hangs on for one.
Playing dangerously.
Yeah, that was...
We've had the score wrong over on A, unfortunately, actually.
Did we?
Yeah.
Was it
It's
tied
4-2.
You're right. So Fellowship actually got a 3 and then followed it with a 1. Okay. Did they rehang? Because I saw 2-2 also.
I thought so too. On C, we're at Team Basel 2, Dauernheim 1.
Okay. As we're beginning the fourth end here on our feature sheet. An opening round B event. Effectively a B event quarterfinal? No, it's a B event round of 16, essentially.
Correct, round of 16.
Although only 12.
That would be
Although only 12.
that would be quarter.
Because there's only 24 teams.
Oh, true. Yes.
So
Brain
it's
is
kind of
having trouble doing math for some strange
Yeah.
reason.
I always thought it was weird having a 2014 draw because half of the teams don't have to play as many games.
Oh, we would love to have 32 for this. The food is definitely worth it.
Food is definitely worth it. I mean, haggis tomorrow.
I'm looking forward to that, actually. I've never had haggis.
I'm mildly surprised haggis is kosher.
Always the way they're preparing it.
10.
Is it kosher?
I don't know the answer to your question.
I'm thinking. I can't think of anything in it that's not kosher.
I don't. I mean, let me put it this way. I know Alton Brown's recipe for haggis, which may or may not be adequate, and there's nothing that I'm aware of that would be a problem, but I also don't know what recipe they're following.
But to be fair, as good a Jewish kid as I am, bacon is delicious. On the other hand, there is lamb bacon.
Give me a 3.
I'm sorry, but you are now a heretic. I must burn you at the stake.
Lamb
There's
bacon
no
is
such thing as that.
Has to.
I refuse to believe that.
I changed plans because it was wide.
I'm sorry. I refuse to believe that.
It's up there with when people get things like fake crab and whatnot. I'm going, well, how do you know it really tastes like crab?
I know that fake crab doesn't taste anything
That's
like
my
crab.
point. It purports to.
But it doesn't. It's just like tofu meat. Oh yeah, it tastes just like chicken. No, it
No.
doesn't. Not even close. I'm sorry, but tofu is more of an abomination than pork is.
There you go.
It was probably just a mistranslation.
If God did not mean for us to eat meat, he would not have made animals taste so good.
Absolutely. They gave me pointy teeth for a reason. So this is being asked to be a draw round. They were concerned about the line. I think they were a little concerned about the weight too.
I'd be concerned about the weight.
It's a little hefty now, but the question is, will it actually? I don't know that I would. I don't think I would have rushed it back like that because he actually improved the stone. All right, so now we're fighting for the 4-foot. It's the battle for the 4-foot in the fourth end. Stone is on its way. A little noisy.
Go for the top. Yes, yes.
Okay, it's obvious Lance doesn't wear these socks very often. He's constantly pulling them up. Is it past the guard or is it a guard split?
Guard split.
With enough of a nudge to roll in and
Shot.
But wide open. Very wide open. Not just wide open, but extremely wide open. And David looks like he's almost apologizing for the attempt to hit. That is not the way I would go about this. That is not the way I would go about this.
No, it is not. I would come from the
Especially
outside.
especially not with your player who's been having line issues. I mean, I don't. Yep, it's already snapping.
Oh, this could be.
Unless these sweepers are really good, there is no way. Yeah, it's already outside it, and it's getting worse. So now the only question is it light enough
To hang around? Yeah, I was going to say, the weight was
actually, it might be. So the fact that she messed up the weight as well as the line actually worked out for her. It's a stone in play. Whereas if she had thrown the hit weight that she was asked for, it would have been a clean mess. Although if she'd thrown a heavier weight, they might have been able to keep it straighter. Yeah, you know. Deidre Arnold throwing her next stone. Front end is on it.
Yes, Rich.
I do have to say I'm kind of jealous of the fact that a lot of the arena clubs, because they have the arena nationals, they have nifty uniforms.
Well, although these are triangles, guys, and they aren't an arena club.
No, that's true. Not anymore. That is true.
And that's their new logo. They went to new colors and a new logo this year.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I will agree that a lot of the a lot of the arena clubs do have really snazzy uniforms.
snazzy uniforms. I mean, you know.
Have you seen Long Island's pants?
Have you seen whose pants?
Long Island's.
No, I haven't seen Long Island at all.
Long Island has these really, really neat Norway-esque pants
Okay.
that are cross-hatched and have their club emblem on them, and it's really cool.
Are they here?
No, they're not, but they are also orange and blue and white.
Yeah, those are good colors. And actually, New York orange, blue, and white makes sense because Syracuse University, although Long Island, not that close to Syracuse. Also the Knicks, good point. So that kind of squeezed in strangely and squirted some stones over, and they're brushing it as though they feel like something picked something up, but I don't think so. I think it was just a weird shot. What is...
Again, that's a weird way to come at it.
Try to get to the yellow in the back? Can't be trying to get to the yellow in the back. There's no way he gets to the yellow in the back. Is he just drawing the button, maybe?
Well, maybe. I mean, if you're...
Or is he asking her to would be more accurate? Or am I sitting at a bad angle and can't tell what the hell's going on? Because it looks like actually this is right in the gap and it's going to do exactly what he asked for.
It is. Wow.
There's a reason they're out there and I'm in here.
Yeah, the reason you're in here is your next draw is at 9.
I didn't say it was a good reason.
Back line, wait. What kind of wait?
It's the same reason that I'm here.
Yeah.
My next draw is not till 9.
Funny that. All right, so Dickie Van Sickle being asked to move granite again. He seems to be being asked to do that a lot. Looks like he's going to chip the red on the top of the house, and then there's going to be shenanigans after the hit. Not really that many shenanigans. I thought shenanigans were afoot, but shenanigans were not afoot.
I do not uphold your call of shenanigans.
There were no shenanigans. I am vaguely disappointed. I was hoping for shenanigans. I was in the mood for a good shenanigan.
Give it time.
I want to open a chain restaurant called Shenanigans. Lousy, vaguely Irish food. Great.
Lousy, vaguely Irish staff.
Sure, them too.
I have to think this is going to be Gardish to block that court.
Yeah.
And the way they're beating it, it's the please God get it over the line.
Well over the line.
But overcurled.
It is overcurling, yeah. Well, but
It's not
actually
horrible.
It's not. I mean, that closes all of the holes. Okay. Now I understand why the two skips have kind of had, maybe not words, but a little bit of a disagreement on a couple of occasions. It seems like there's a little bit of a dispute over house space. Which happens.
It doesn't.
All right, so the next stone is on the way. What were they hoping to do?
I have to think.
Whatever they were hoping to do isn't going to happen because he flipped that out, and there's no possible way this is going to do anything productive.
No. Especially not with how fast sweepers came off it.
Yeah. I mean, that just let go from the release. That was a classic push miss. As somebody who throws a lot of those, I know exactly what those look like. So red continues to lie 3, throwing their last vice stone, asking to bring this in. They're past the guard. It's going to come in. It's going to come in. It's going to be T plus.
It's going to wick off something.
I don't know that that's, well, it's going to tap that back.
The angle I'm at, I couldn't tell if it was going to wick the stone on the side of the floor.
And actually, that tall red guard actually means that you can't just come in and blast because you won't get enough curl to get there. It's a very nice setup for red at the moment for possibly scoring a big number, and they have hammer. So they can react to anything yellow does.
It's Tuesday. A little more.
Over on D, they finally hung the score, and it is now Walsh 7.
I think I understand why it took so long. All right, let's see here. Zimmerman's kind of facing a rough go here. And Sickles looking as though he's reconsidering whether the shot was the right call or alternatively something. I don't know. I believe actually what they're trying to do is they're just trying to draw into essentially the button, at least the forefoot.
I mean, it's there.
Oh yeah, the path is there. And actually, there's enough red backing there that if he executes this, it's going to be tough to get it out of there. Yeah! Stone is definitely on its way. Got the sweepers on it immediately for line.
Gotta get past that guard.
And he should hit. He definitely did. I don't think
he is either.
And nope, he's already said we're going to hit the guard. If he's going to hit the guard, he really should have gotten the sweepers off of it and tried to see if he could do a nose promote. Probably wouldn't want to promote it. It's yellow. Wouldn't they be promoting a red? So never mind.
That might block off that draw path.
No.
You think so?
Oh, wait, which drop path? Yeah, the one that he
needed, yeah.
Yeah, no. So if I'm red, I come in the other way, the other curl, and I just put one up in the top 12, and
Which is not what they're doing.
Yeah, it is.
No, it looks like... I'm looking at it real quick. You would draw in behind the high yellow
I would draw in from, as we're looking at it on the display, I would draw from the right to the left.
I suppose. Something in there.
No, wait a minute. This is back. Okay.
I would.
The monitor is backwards to what I'm seeing on the ice.
Okay, so this is what I'm concerned about. I'm concerned about coming down the far side of the sheet and in behind cover to touch 4.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I want.
That's not what he's calling.
I wouldn't touch 4. I would stop up here, the top 12.
You and I are agreeing on the same thing.
Saying.
I would throw a guard on this side to widen the spread of those guards in front of the house. It looks like he is signaling to draw in behind the high yellow.
This is backwards to me.
Yes.
So
I would not be as worried about this path, I think.
Stone is on its way. Sweepers wanted to touch it, but they called him off. Now they're letting it back on. I think they made a mistake. I think they should have left him on for the beginning. Because Stone is going to over curl. It's not really well. It shrunk the hole by about a stone, and frankly, that might be enough.
But again, as the other team skip, I don't think I would come down this way anyway. I would come down farther out and try to just touch 4.
You know, I would actually consider it, because if I come down through the hole, and I come with, like, let's say back 12-ish weight, and I come in and I tap the red that's on the T line on the edge of the 4 on the inside, and then I have a very nice, easy roll into the button.
That's fine.
Okay, easy in all of air quotes. Yeah. But that's his only shot using the inside line. There's not enough room to do a straight draw.
No.
So he's either got to come to the way wide line that, frankly, nobody's thrown much at, and everything that's been thrown out there has been inaccurate. So they don't want to do that. And I don't think there's enough space to even try just lasering the gap.
I wouldn't try it.
I don't think there's enough space. Yeah, there's enough space to laser the gap.
See, because I'm thinking if you come down the outside, even if you aren't as deep as you would like, you'll cut them down. And that's where I would be terrified at the moment.
Looks like where I think they're putting the broom, are they lasering the gap?
Plus, remember that red has camera.
Never mind. He just moved. Get him. Lasering the gap would still, but no, he just moved the stone, just moved the broom a stone out wider. So he's drawing in the port that we think, and which really all that he can do at that point. I mean, he might, if it stays tight, move this broom back in. Means is he coming up weight?
Really nice 6.
Over on sheet C, we're knotted back up at 2.
Excellent. Good tight game going on over there on C between Dauerheim and Team Basel. All right, here comes Yellow's last stone of the end. He's looking to throw the wow, at that speed, he was trying to laser the gap. He still is, and he might get away with it if it starts to move now. It needs to start to move now. He has lasered the gap.
Wow.
Oh. But he hit a little too hard and rolled a little too far. It is certainly a cut down to red is lying at least 1. Red might be 2. It's questionable as to whether yellow is second shot or red is second shot.
Nice shot.
He had to throw the laser. He threw the laser. Unfortunately, throwing the laser, you can't. You're gonna roll.
Yeah.
I think yes.
So now, let's see here. Is Lance Wright doing anything you can do? I can do better. And frankly, he can't because the stone isn't there anymore. So if he shoots the laser, he goes through a hole, which is not what he wants to do.
No, it is not.
He would like to, if he can tap the yellow on the forefoot and move it a little bit. Now the stone's on the way. He's playing for, is he just throwing away, I think, or is he trying to, he's trying to take it out from the outside. Oh, okay, I see what he's trying to do. Is he going to get there?
I was going to say, there's
a
big question. Whoosh.
Yeah, he whooshed it. So that is the end of this. Red has definitely got 1. There is an extremely open question about the second one.
And for those who are listening to our banter about the America's Challenge, the first game has begun.
All righty. Which 2 teams are in the first game?
U.S. Brazil.
Okay. Yep. Looking at it tight. They're still looking at it. At this point, just go get a stick. They took. Nope. Okay, they made a decision. Judging from the way they tapped, I think they just gave red 1, which would tie us back up at 3.
Mine's good.
I think it's just red 1.
Okay, we're out.
1. Go T-line, wait.
Was it 1?
Give me a shot.
Yeah, 1 point.
We're downhill.
Yeah, so it was in fact 1 point. So we are tied up at 2 after 4. Wow, we're halfway through this already. And
We gotta draw straight.
A is also tied, and C is also tied. So with the exception of D, all of the games this draw are very, very tight.
That is not a bad thing.
No. Should have been here for the previous draw. There was a 7.
Ooh.
Except here's the thing. They had to make a shot at the end to win. They did.
Isn't that the curse?
But it was, the final score of the game was 9-8. They were down 3-0. They scored a 7. There was to go up 7, and then they took another 2, so they were up 9-3. Then they gave up a 4, a steal of 1, and the other team was damn close to stealing the one to tie, but missed by about that much. So that was a crazy tight game over there between who was it? It was the Pittsburgh rookies from Pittsburgh, oddly enough, and Team Haggis, who's from here, Linda the Kirkmans, and folks they're playing.
That's not weight. Line's good. Yeah.
So we've had some really tight curling
All the way.
in this Bonspiel so far.
Which, again, is not a...
Do you hear me complain?
No.
I just wish I had been involved in a tight game. That would have been great.
Awesome. Line up.
It's all right. I got 2 more games. And maybe more.
Look, yep.
I'm doing 3. So.
I have to win my evening game or else I have to take the Cats to the vet tomorrow. So I have
I wish you the best of luck in your evening game.
Thank you.
Hard. No.
My team is slowly working its way through the Cap League in this
Gotta go
Bonspiel.
heavier. I don't sure.
Who you playing? Who you playing next?
Shaw's.
Good luck with that. They looked like they were kind of buzzsawy in their first round.
Yeah.
It's a little narrow. Yeah.
this has the potential to kind of be peel or shamey.
Hey,
What?
some of us resemble that remark.
Yeah, well, push the button.
I did push the button.
Thank you. Okay, so it wasn't a full-fledged peel of shame, it was a promotive shame.
Yes, yes,
A promotive.
yes! Yep.
A promotive.
I don't know. I'm trying to come up with a good
A
word for it.
promotive
too.
mild admonishment.
Hey, good throw.
Okay, it's obvious no one's paying attention on the YouTube, or else somebody would have said something.
No.
Come on, people. Participate in the chat, or else we're going to keep babbling about worlds. There's 10 people online. Somebody say something.
I could talk about Euros.
I just like the straight draw around.
Could. I don't know.
After I had words this afternoon with Rocks Across the Pond over Twitter.
I don't know who Rocks Across the Pond is.
Rocks Across the Pond is a great podcast. It's at Curling Podcast on Twitter. It is...
Okay, Deirdre,
The
right
name
in
seems
here.
a little on the button.
I thought it was actually funny that handle wasn't used. But it's a really cool podcast. They talk about all kinds of fun topics. They have a different take. I know that the Game of Stones decided to respond to their deep dive into the Euro Bees with one of their own. That's another decent podcast out of Ottawa.
Where is it?
Excellent.
This is how I spend my afternoon driving back and forth to Baltimore.
The things we miss by being in North America, so therefore we don't have bees. We barely have bees.
Fighter.
Well, that was more my point.
Yeah.
Europeans has seas.
I know.
That's the penalty for losing out of the bees.
All right. Missy Van Sickle getting ready to throw
Right to the button. Forward
first
swing.
stone of this fifth end.
Right to the button.
Not sure what she's being
Draw to
asked
the
to
button.
throw. Draw to the button.
He was fairly audibly clear about that.
Yeah. I'm not sure what the line is. Okay, yeah, I see it now. I'm being body blocked, so I can't really tell.
Yes!
That was tight.
Off!
Yes. So I don't know if anybody who knows Missy Van Sickle is on the webcast or not, but if they do, 2 pieces of advice for her with her stick. She needs to put a little bit less rotation on it, and she needs to work on the smoothness of her releases. That will do her a lot of good. But she's throwing, she's doing good. She's having fun.
Which is what matters most.
Exactly.
If you do not enjoy what you are doing, why do it?
There is precisely no money on the line in Bonspiel.
Now I feel lied to.
Why you get paid?
Narrow!
I think my skip mentioned something about that.
Well, if it's heavy, don't bother sweeping it.
Sorry.
All my dreams shattered.
Tell you what, there's an all-expense-paid trip to Laurel, Maryland in it for you.
Booyah, I'm there.
You're already there. Good job.
Darn it.
I know it.
Top 12!
And this is in
Through.
and through.
That was about hack weight.
All right, beautiful. Let's do it this
Hey,
time.
try it again.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
There,
That
now we got a
explains it.
response.
Excellent. That is good. So in this April, Winter League, okay, or Summer League rather. So, okay.
That is definitely entirely
And,
fair,
yeah,
and it's commendable
Well,
to get a...
sure, no, absolutely. And I'm not saying she's doing a lousy job. What I'm saying is she's doing well. There are ways she can. I also curl with a stick. And I've been doing it for years, and it's very obvious that she has not been doing it for years. Just a couple. She's getting it. She's got the gist. Just how to tune it just a little bit better.
From having had to teach people how to curl with a stick, it is extremely hard.
Yeah, because there's no curriculum to teach somebody how to curl with a stick. This is a curling stick. Figure it out. Good luck. You know, there are no USCA certified official instructors on doing sticks. As part of the instructor training, you get like 15 minutes in how to teach somebody to do a stick and what the rules are. That's about it.
I think that actually
So-
sums it up nicely.
Yeah.
Yeah!
So it's everybody talks about it so much. It's so much easier. It's not. It's not easier at all, and I'm not disparaging her in the slightest. I would very much like to see her be able to get an opportunity to throw enough stones with it, make the little tweaks, and she could be good with it. And I have severe envy of her broom and stick combo.
Hey!
frankly.
Draw behind.
I think you should tell your wife you want one for Christmas.
I may have to.
I may actually have to get one for Ethan.
The only downside with it, if I did that, my teammates might start expecting a sweep.
I don't have much spin on it.
We know you too well.
No, on
I see on Thursdays.
Lightly swing, lightly swing.
Clearly, I don't know you as well as I thought. Everything I know is a lie.
And I haven't died yet.
Minor, but plan B to be light. Gone. Right on the wheel.
And that is also through.
Yeah, little stiff. That is also very hard to do with this. Getting weight control. And for that matter, CCVA is an arena club. So, dedicated ice is almost always faster than hockey ice. And it's just, I mean,
It's more consistent from week to week.
They're fighting all of the things.
Mine's good. Just for weight.
And a couple of years ago, this would have been an arena-on-arena battle.
Go ahead, resist. Go ahead.
I mean, actually, it's a damn good game. It's 3-3.
Resisting, hard resisting.
Both teams are playing well. There are some misses. There are some questionable strategic decisions, but both teams are doing fine.
That one at the back of the house is biting, isn't it?
I really
Can't tell.
I can't tell if that's a shadow or if that's a bite. I honestly don't know.
Get that one out. Yeah.
So Matt, is Michael also fairly new?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. I believe it.
All right, I think that's more of the draw.
You can throw this one away, but I don't need another one. Okay.
I will say this about CCBA: they travel.
Yeah. Well, apparently they have to because
Well, beyond that, I mean,
they got no arena. Wow, that is rough.
I ran into Sam in Phoenix the year before last.
Okay, Mike's in about his 4th year. Okay.
It ran pretty straight.
I was over here.
That's rough that CCBA gets no winter ice.
Yes, then.
I don't know. That's
Yes.
Demand for hockey ice.
but well, yeah. On the other hand,
Oh,
wow. Okay.
to be fair, also though, having played places, that's a massive advantage sometimes, having a good system of hand signals.
Yeah. Hand signals are. Yeah. Frankly, I never would have guessed that. I just assumed that they were communicating well via hand signals. That's amazing. For those of you who are listening and not reading, we just discovered that Michael Gardner, the lead for Team on the Verge, is apparently mostly deaf. So they're doing virtually all their communicating using hand signals, which you can't tell. And that's just another symbol of how curling is an awesome adaptive game because there's practically nothing you can have wrong with you that you can't curl.
That also means that he's a step ahead already as a lead, because all of us are not supposed to listen to our skips anymore.
That's true. No skips ever listen, so yeah.
Yet another reason why my skip beats me.
Probably deserve it.
Oh, I'm a lead. I definitely deserve it.
Oh, that's good. So Triangle's got CCVA. Yeah, that's still like about a 3-hour drive, isn't it? Yeah, Richmond. You'd think I would know these things. I lived in Richmond for like 12, 15 years before I came up here.
I was going to say, but there was no curling there then.
Correct. Funny story, in 1990, no, that's not true. I was living in Richmond in 2007. There was a gentleman who was trying to talk Chesterfield County, which is the county that's like just southwest of Richmond, just across the river, basically. The guy was playing the perfect music man, con man thing. He went to Chesterfield County. He's like, I'm going to build this incredibly massive Olympic sports complex on this vacant land that you have in a beautiful location. Don't get me wrong, it's lovely. we're going to have soccer fields and field hockey fields and baseball fields and football fields and soccer fields and 3 ice arenas and all this kind of, and he was showing signs with all of the beautiful, with all the Yellow's
While
lying too.
while we're chatting, Yellow's lying too.
Yeah,
all these wonderful fields.
And all of the symbols of all the, like USA Rugby, USA Curling, all this kind of thing. And he was putting in a beautiful presentation about how this was going to be a state-of-the-art facility, blah, 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 blah. And all you had to do to be able to play in any of the leagues was basically pay for the equivalent of a health club membership for like $100 a month, which is what you pay for a health club membership, right?
Yeah.
For family at least. And so I talked to the reservations people. I was like, oh, curling, great! I want to do curling, awesome. Tell me about your curling. And they're like, well, we need somebody to kind of take charge of the curling. Do you want to do that? And I was like, I don't know how to do that. I don't know how enough people have curling. You're making it sound like you've got curling. And they're like, no. We're just gonna have the capability to have curling. Like, do you even know what curling requires? And as it turned out, the guy was a massive snake oil salesman. Chesterfield County gave him all the land. They got a couple of soccer fields out of it. That's it. And and then I got the job and moved up here. And a couple of years, actually not even a year later, all of a sudden enough folks from VCU and surrounding get together. They start forming originally I'm pretty sure it was a joke, curling team where they would end. Now they're awesome. So I mean, and they're doing a fine job. One of the teams from there comes up, or at least I don't think they're doing it this year, but has come up in the past to play in Capital League in our club.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah, and they did all right. So I mean, they do quite.
That's flying here! All the way!
And actually, I know a couple who
Get on there, Dick.
came to learn to curl here in DC.
Get on there, Dick.
Let it go for a while, moved to Richmond, and now both of them are members of CCBA.
I can believe it.
Save it.
They're doing what they need to do. I mean, yeah. And that was the hammer. Yellow took 2 because Lance just couldn't quite get past everything. So I believe that puts CCBA on the verge up 5-3 after 5.
I believe that's what it looks like.
And we have a 5th end score over on sheet A. And yes, Yellow hung a 4. Yellow hung a 4. Fellowship of the Rink is now up 8-4 over Lockinger. We have a 5th end score.
Oh, it's only
on
1 on B.
There's only 1? Oh, okay. I guess they determined that one that we thought might be biting wasn't. Now, after 5 ends, they're switching the initial hammer thing. That's kind of funny. Over on sheet C, Dauerheim hung a 2 in the 5th end. They're up 4-2. And D is still throwing the 5th end, so we don't know.
Well, I didn't know you're supposed to put hammer things down.
2.5 hours to try. Okay.
That's pretty close.
Yeah. Beats the 3.5 here.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that we can get to those with where the guards are.
What we need to do is we need to get Richmond enough money so that they can build a dedicated facility there.
Hell yeah.
And then we, instead of having the MACA thing that we have up here with the 4 clubs that are all north of us, then we do Triangle, Richmond,
Charlotte has one too.
Potomac, Charlotte, Chesapeake. Kind of a mid-Atlantic, a real mid-Atlantic curling association.
We could set up a second set of friendlies.
We have enough problems getting people to the first one.
I know. I told Adam I'd do it depending on timing, because I just can't interfere with my wife's stuff.
Yeah.
The joy of a non-curling spouse.
I feel you.
I know you do. Although she's come out and played.
She came out. She curled some last spring, and she enjoyed it. But she started a new job this August.
Priorities, man.
And her priorities is keeping the job that she just started because we like money. Dedicated facilities for all, that would be marvelous. Let's make all of the dedicated facilities. Every hockey rink in America should be required to have a separate shed attached to it that has curling.
Hell yes.
It should be like a law. Make curling great again. That's the only way you should ever use that slogan. All right. We are working our way through the 6th end on the verge.
Yeah, all the way. All the way.
Oh, now I get it. Short for Virginia. Cute. Okay. Up 4-3 over Caber Crunchers. Caber Crunchers have the hammer here in the 6th end. And this stone is from the on the verge is going to come into the top 12 right there on the center line. I think he was actually hoping for a guard, but that doesn't suck. It's not a bad result. So unfortunately what it does mean is that Lance Wright can call for Alex Fu to take it out. That is certainly what he's calling. He's looking for about 12 to 18 inches of curl on the takeout attempt. This has kicked off. This is biting. This is he's gonna hit that top guard. This is a, oh no, well, okay. Shot the gap, shoved the stone in the top 12 over and in slightly. Now it's mostly in the top 8. At about as you're looking at the house from overhead at approximately 1:32 o'clock. So that was an unfortunate result, but you know sometimes things happen.
Give me a guard. Right up here.
David Zimmerman is calling for a draw cross, kind of like tapping that yellow, or putting a guard in front of it. Either way, sweepers are on it pretty hard, primarily for depth. This might be sheeped, hogged. I don't know that this quite has the mustard. No, it's going to be about 5 feet short of the hog line, unfortunately. Valiant effort. Sweepers tried hard, but couldn't quite get there. So now that gives Caber Crunchers another shot at the takeout. Asking Deidre Arnold to make the take.
On a positive, if you haven't noticed, Super Beauties are on the board.
I had not.
It is now 8-1 over on D.
Okay. Stone is on the way. It's got a little bit of movement it needs to make. It's starting to make that movement. It's going to kick, and it's going to get some roll to the other side. It might be, that's going to be a little too much. It's going to spit out the other side. Well, yeah, it spat out from behind the guards on the other side, but not horribly. And more importantly, to get there on that line, you got to go curling out on the outside. And you know, this may be dedicated ice, but the outside of the sheet is still
tricky.
Yeah, let's go tricky. Tricky is good. We'll go tricky. There are other words I was going to use, most of them vaguely not appropriate for.
I was going to say FCC prohibited.
Yeah, well, we're not. Thankfully, we're on the interwebs, so the FCC doesn't matter. So he's looking. They're looking to do a tap raise. Step 1, hit that top red. Red hits the yellow. Yellow goes into the house. Instead, yellow hits red, which came over the top of the yellow. Now there's nothing blocking the yellow, so that's kind of good. But the red is now over as a guard over on the right-hand side of the sheet. I don't know how much it would cost to build a club in Richmond.
I don't even want to think about the land costs.
Probably not that bad by comparison to DC, because Richmond is way cheaper.
And it also depends on how far out, I guess, you would build it.
See, one nice thing about Richmond, you get a lot further out from Richmond than you can out from DC.
Yes. Because that's the discussion here always in trying to come up with how to make it. Oh, and we have a final, actually, from Chaska.
That didn't take long.
Marcelo Mello won.
Yeah.
Ruinin 10.
5 ends.
I'm looking it up now.
So a gentle tap up.
No, 7.
Oh. Gentle tap up, sort of a half split kind of thing. Puts 2 reds in the house, 1 in the 4-foot, 1 in the 8-foot. There is a little bit of a pocket there. The pocket's not easy to get to. It's coming from the outside in, but that is what they're trying to do. It appears. Seems to me much more likely to take the guard up top. That might actually be a
Not a bad.
semi-expected result. Okay, guard. So they promoted their guard into the second of those red stones. Now there is a pocket up top. I believe Lance is asking Richard to kind of put it in that pocket.
It's what it would seem like to me.
That's what the signal was, but I don't fully understand the call. Doesn't mean it's a bad call. I just don't quite get. Don't quite get what he's thinking. Not grokking his plan. Feels a little heavy if he just wants to sit in it. If he wanted to split them, but that runs the risk of wasting his red too. Just hit the out. All he did is hit the yellow into the red, tipped it in. Not enough to ruin it being shot. Red is still shot. Yellow is 2. Red is 3 and 4.
And calling for the double.
Calling for the double. That's a much easier double now. This is a blast into the pocket. Kind of did the standard handshake release that you're always taught in curling 101. Right from day 1. Sweepers get off of it. It's getting pretty close. It's got the top one, rolls over on top of the second one. That's actually that's about as good as they could have actually realistically expected.
Pretty much.
But that also gives them something that they can very easily promote their yellow into that red. Now yellow's be looking a bunch. So Lance Wright asking Richard Arnold to kind of come off that yellow and split that yellow off to the left. Or left, right as you're looking at the screen, and roll in towards the center line a little bit. Not going to happen. They're going to promote the guard up top,
but not by much.
Not by enough to make a difference. It turned it into a better guard for that red, but I think they still have the angle raise yellow option. So
but to answer the fun question about the America's Challenge, the game started at 6 p.m. Eastern Time, so 7 ends is pretty good. Their next game is tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Eastern against Guyana.
7 ends in an hour 45. That's about right.
About right. So tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Eastern is U.S. versus Guyana.
Because I'm sure they weren't taking mandatory TV time or anything like that.
Oh, I'm certain. I don't even know if it's being web streamed. I don't believe so.
I certainly haven't heard of anything.
I don't know if Chaska normally web streams.
They have the capability because Chaska's, they shot Curling Night in America there once.
That doesn't mean that they have web streaming. That just means that they brought a TV crew in.
Oh, yeah, good call.
Because that's where this year's Curling Night in America was filmed.
Good call. But that is, you're correct that just means NBC did that. All right. David Zimmerman throwing his first skips stone.
No!
Feels like he pushed that. He wants the sweepers to get off of it. They took him a second, but they did get off. He's way wide, and it's not looking like it's going to get any better. Nope. He did the push release again. Push release is just it's hard to learn not to do. Whether you're curling with a stick or a slide, it's hard to learn not to push when you're trying to go up weight.
It's hard not to push in a lot of situations.
Yeah.
It's just the most instinctive thing to think of adjusting your delivery by giving it a good
I need this a
shove.
little harder. But unfortunately, they can't, unless you're going to do it every time, and therefore you plan on it. And how do you plan on it? It's not really a planable thing. So.
I just plan not to screw up as badly the next time.
Yeah, you throw lead. If you're throwing a double, something is not working.
Have you met my team?
What are you saying? What are you getting? What's your message?
I can't say anything more. My skip will beat me.
Yeah. So we are apparently in the 7th end over on A. Oh! There was a 3 hung by Lockinger to make it an 8-7 game.
And we have a ball game on A.
Yes, we do. Lance Wright throwing his first skip stone. His first skips stone, that is. They're on it hard. They're trying to be directional about it a little bit. They're trying to hold it straight to get around that top yellow guard. I don't think they succeeded. They did not. They did a nuzzle. It did roll spin onto the rings, but it's 4th, and it's a poor 4th. So Lance Wright's looking at his last stone. I'm sorry, no, that was Lance Wright who just delivered that. David Zimmerman looking at his last stone. And he's got what I've been talking about. He's got the angle raise his yellow onto the red, and actually with that red that was just thrown now there, that acts as a catcher. He could be line 3 at the end of this if he executes. Or you could be looking at cat videos. I don't think TJ's paying attention to me.
I was just quickly checking some stuff.
All right, so they've decided that they're going to do the raise thing. They're checking the angles. It actually looks relatively straightforward. Anything on the outer half of that yellow stone, that's not what he's doing. He's calling a draw the other way. I do not agree with the shot.
It could just be the wonkiness on that side of the sheet and lack of confidence.
All you had to do was hit anything on the outer half of his yellow stone. That's a huge target. And whereas this has to be a draw into the button, and he's too heavy for it. He's gonna tap that red guard. So that doesn't
help the situation.
You can't sweep that. I don't think he affected it. I don't think it's a big deal. So that would I feel like that was an unforced error on the skip, not the delivery, the shot choice.
Yeah.
Because now what Arnold has the broom down for Lance Wright to throw is they could try the pure draw. That seems like a tight line for it. Or else what they could also do is just throw kind of like backline-ish weight. Get to the inner half of that yellow, and the red should just kind of spin in naturally, nice as you please, and see it in the forefoot.
That would be the goal.
Yeah, and that's a shot, and it's possibly 2 points. Weight control is going to be the hardest part. Is this the pure draw, though? Is this the pure draw, or is he trying
The
to
grade that I'm seeing says pure draw.
Plenty of room. Plenty of room. Next hand all the way. Next hand all the way. How much?
It's
on the guard.
It's on the guard, but it's not going to top it in. So, red one. After 6, we are tied at 4. Right? Yes? Why are they not kicking stones yet?
Over on C, we are tied again.
Okay, now they're kicking stones. Okay. They were taking an awful long time to not kick stones there, so I was thinking there was some sort of score dispute, but I didn't see it.
Tight games almost all across the board.
Pretty
here.
much. And if Sweeping Beauties can make a play in the 6th here and get a little bit closer, maybe they can even keep their game alive. And at the moment, though, it's not looking good over on D. There's a line of 3 yellow stones, and are they on? They are
On the tee.
Yeah, and red doesn't even have hammer. Yeah. This could be problematic for them very quickly.
Maybe the next day, I don't know.
Could be worse.
One bourbon, one scotch, one beer.
Could be a lot.
So, no, Basil. Basil is on sheet C, tied at 4. We are showing sheet B as in boy, which is also tied at 4.
I want to clear this.
I don't know. Up. Yeah. All right. A little bit more. Great. Nice shot, Alex.
Nice.
Overcurl.
We have a center guard with the first stone. We will definitely keep you up to date, Basil. Currently throwing the 7th end. It's 4-4 through 6, I believe.
It
is.
Yeah. We'll keep you up to date as anything happens, and of course, if the game on B happens to end early for whatever reason, we will we'll shift. We have the capability to shift over to C. It's a little tricky, but we can do it.
Yeah, you gotta spit on it. Yeah, it's a little hot.
It's not that tricky.
We have the technology.
We do. You'd think the club spent bunches of money on this or whatever. It's pronounced Basel.
Basel.
Yes.
Basel. Okay. Isn't that how you pronounce the herb? Basil?
Basil.
That's how you pronounce it.
Top four.
I mean, Basel actually kind of makes sense going with the whole Scottish team. I'm sure that's not what they're shooting for.
Line's good. Where's the weight? Whoa. I would rather have it high if we can't get it behind cover.
And this stone, they're asking to curl around the guard. They're definitely past the guard. How's the weight? In the house.
And nicely undercover.
Nicely undercover, straddling the top 4. Nothing wrong with that. That's a good stone. That is what we in the business refer to as a good stone.
Sit, boo, sit. Good stone.
Sit, good stone. A very 80s of it.
That's what we were discussing at one point on the far end.
Not much more.
Between our front end and your front end.
You guys have way too much time on your hands.
Well, just when skips make up their minds faster, we don't have time to talk.
Sorry, you guys put us in such horrible situations. We got to figure out what the hell am I going to do with this?
Again, it's the job of the front end. If you did not have your hate to keep you warm.
I have a hat and a coat. Warm is not that much of a problem. So I think this is a little hefty. It's a lot hefty. Yeah.
And outside.
They were looking. Yeah. They were looking to kind of draw. I think they were trying to draw it, play the draw behind guard tap on the red. They weren't necessarily expecting to get rid of it as much as they were expecting to move it a little bit. Unfortunately, they kind of flashed past it.
But top 4 is good.
So now Lance Wright.
Yes.
I think he's following his typical modus operandi, which is more stones in-house is good stones in-house.
We have had handshakes on D.
Handshakes on D. D is over. Team Walsh has defeated Sweeping Beauties. They've already taken down the score. I believe it might have been 11-1, but I'm not certain.
Whoa. That's not a 4.
So Team Walsh will advance to the B event. Sweeping Beauties will be down in C. Playing at 2:30 tomorrow, I believe. 2. Yeah, because that'll be the C quarters.
No, actually C first round because there's C quarters will be in the evening. C semis are on Sunday morning.
You're correct. All right, Missy Van Stickles preparing to throw hers. They brought the sweepers off of it quick, I think, because they were hoping for a little more cut. But here's the cut. There's the sweepers. This is looking like it's got some potential. Certainly got the top guard. It's going to tap that. It's going to promote that.
It is
In.
I think in.
It's biting.
At the very least.
A little bit more.
If you're a little heavy,
oomph
that's
might have
okay.
been. I don't know. I think they were trying to draw around.
That is my suspicion.
I think the skip just kind of called an audible and was like, okay, this is what I'm going to do.
Whoa! Okay, that's good.
Next time I see time. Touch and arrow.
Deidre Arnold throwing her second lead stone of this 7th end. I'm sorry, second stone of the second end.
Second stone.
Second stone?
Second stone.
So she's throwing all of the stones. That's all I can say. She's throwing a stone.
Because that's the fourth red stone.
And now the third of them in the house with a guard on the center line. I can't count. Math is for, like accountants and things. I make pretty pictures.
Then they're just going to have an easy sit 3.
Missy gave that a shove, and it's going down the ice, but the line's looking pretty good. It's got some speed. The sweepers are on it hard, but it's just to keep line. Oh, and it did, in fact, bite a little. It chipped off. I think the expression you just heard from the skip calls everything.
Really?
Because that looked like it was going to stay, and then all of a sudden it bit.
It just took a turn, yeah.
Yeah, and David's trying to explain to Missy right now, you can't feel bad about that. You didn't mess that up. It just went, sometimes things go poorly. That was actually a good, strong-looking shot from Missy, but all of a sudden the last 10 feet, it just decided to take a sharp right. Maybe it picked something up.
Yeah. Let's go right here.
Richard Arnold.
Top 8. Line's good.
Being asked to deliver something in the top 8.
Just stay right on it.
From the
Let him die, Alex.
outer curl in.
Let him die a natural death.
Again, going with the theory that more weight of stone in-house, good thing.
The more you take it this way, the more it's going to go that way.
And
It's a guard.
This is a guardie.
No.
I very specifically heard top 8, or was that the shot? Or was that the Sheet C game talking about?
Hard to tell.
Yeah. Dickie Van Sickle being asked to try to execute some cleanup. He's being asked to give it what he's got on line. That's the hardest part. Throwing hard is easy. Throwing hard on line is hard. And he gave in to the temptation. Again, he put a push on it.
These stones offend his skip. He must remove them.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
He has a rock cleaning service.
So now, yep, Caber Crunchers, Lance Wright not being.
Don't you remember this at the end we score on?
Oh, what's the term for being for being really nice and it's not sportsmanship because this isn't a sportsmanship situation.
No.
He's not being he's taking advantage of the error, which you got to do. It's a competitive game.
But it is a nice conservative call, which is the appropriate call for the situation.
Yeah, he's putting up a guard, guarding the 3 that he has in the house, which are already relatively well guarded. He's just trying to make it even better well guarded. My English is goodly. That's actually might have a little bit of steam.
Just a good spot.
In the house? No, it isn't.
No.
Never mind.
He could have stood for it to be about 6 feet higher and a little more into the center line, but it's not a bad spot.
So Dickie's being asked to deliver one pretty much right down the center line. On the plus side, that's really easy to avoid the push there. And come with some steam. He's coming with some steam. He actually has fallen off the center line a little bit. He's going to hit the top one, and there will not be pinball. Where's the shooter spinning in? Nope, just to be a guard.
Make sure you roll hard. You weren't rolling. Okay, that's fine. It's fine.
Needed to cut close to the center.
Lance Wright parading down the ice for his first skip stone. He does not have hammer in this 7th end. He would love, I mean, he's looking at the probability of putting up a big number here, and he would love to do that. I'm sure he's just following the, at this point, follow the rationale that more stones in-house, good stones in-house.
That looks gardish to me.
Yeah, and the sweepers got right on it, so...
One thing I can see out here is there's a dent in the hole. You could also
They might. Okay, sweepers are back off of it. They're looking for some bend now. It's starting to come. You know, I think he'll actually be happy with guarding with a little bit of a wide guard because now there's no way to drill in there. Yellow can't get past everything. There's no path. And the draw, I mean, there is theoretically a draw to the button, but it's on a line that they haven't thrown much and requires precision weight. Although it will at least be a cut down, and a cut down is not.
It's not horrible.
It's not a bad thing.
I mean, anything given that this is the 7th.
He's still got 2 stones. He could try to. Nope. Yep. He's calling the draw. He's calling the draw.
Whoa.
I believe we're throwing a hammer over on A.
Come on, hard roll. Hard roll. Hard roll. Oh, nice try. Good try.
I think red may have just taken at least 1. I don't know beyond that.
Testing. 1, 2, 3.
Don't leave it out wide.
No, yellow did take something. Okay. Yellow took 1. They're going to be coming home up 9-7, but red will have hammer. So that game is still very much alive over on A. Sheet C is still working their way through. She's got a bunch of stones left here in the 7th end. All right, here comes the first yellow skip stone. He flipped that kind of wide. He's playing for a draw. Unfortunately, I think his stone's going to hit the sideline. I think his stone is hitting the sideline, which means it's out. Or is he just throwing away to not make life any worse? Okay, that stone just didn't do what he desired to do. I think he was a little bit wide and never had a prayer coming back. But so now Caper Crunchers, Lance Wright throwing his last stone of the end. Block the draw, cinch a 3, come home without hammer but up 3. It's a powerful situation. And you know, he probably won't even mind if he puts it in just touching the top 12.
So heavy draw, like normal draw is here. Heavy draw is
Stone is on the way.
It's carrying nicely.
It is carrying nicely. The sweepers are off of it. Maybe a little wider than the guard he would want, but it's not horrible. But I think that's actually making house. It is making house. It's making house very well. In fact, it's actually full aid. Draw line to the button is still there, though.
But I would be looking at this as well. Come off that stone and roll in.
Yeah, actually, frankly, given the situation, that's probably a better shot. Because I don't think you're gonna get 1 out of it, because I feel like you're gonna roll over top of the red in the 4-foot. But it does offer you a very real possibility of cutting down to 1, or at the worst 2. And sometimes whereas the draw, all you have to be is about 3 feet heavy, and you're giving up a 4. So yeah, it's definitely the better call.
Keep it in there.
He needs to get to the inside of it to execute that, though. Okay, it looked like a clean release. Spin's looking good. I think he's a little concerned. I think he feels like he's outside. He is outside. That's why he feels that way.
Get in there, get in there.
Here it comes. Here it comes. Got the sweepers on it. He's got the sweepers on it.
That's curling.
Past the top guard.
Come on.
Past 2. Past 3.
Oh.
Red's got 1. Red might have 2.
Those two are really close.
Red's definitely got 1. I wouldn't blame yellow for calling a measurement.
They're calling a measurement.
They're calling a measurement. Never put the I'm on the ice. Sorry, my inner official.
Well, that was more of your outer official.
Was it? So this is going to be a measurement for a second point. We know red has 1, which will put them up 5-4 coming home, possibly 6-4 with the hammer, or actually without the hammer, either way. I feel like red is closer, but that may be an optical illusion because they're just closer to the center line. Yellow looks like it's a little deeper, but it's more off the center line, so it's a tough call. Yeah, which is why they're going to bring out the big measuring thing. Hopefully, they're going to get the broom out of the way before they move that measuring device. Get the broom out of the way. Please get the broom out of the way. Thank you. All right, they've locked in a number. They've got an approximate number, so now they're locking in a number using the redstone. Okay. They've got an agreement on the number, I think. They're not, okay, apparently, so they're going to the yellow. Based on what I'm seeing, I don't know. They pointed at the yellow stone? Yes? No? Maybe? Which they didn't signal.
Well, I mean,
but they did very rapidly hang a 1. So yes, so yellow won the measurement. So red only got 1. Yellow's down 1, but coming home with hammer. This game is very much alive.
It is a game of singles.
It's a game of singles. There has been no. Yellow would very much like to get the first 2 here.
There were 2s in the first end, in the first and second end. They swapped deuces to start the game.
You're right. Yellow would like to bookend. Got a deuce and end 1, deuce and end 8. They'd be very happy with that. Just for the gentleman who's really concerned about the game on sheet C, we are getting ready for the hammer in the 7th end over on sheet C. And right now, yellow is lying 1, red is lying 2 and 3.
Heavier and less ice.
Just a little less.
Well, you can see how someone you could.
I'm using this to see.
That would be a good reason not to put the C house on.
All right,
Feed
that
the
first
pig.
stone was a hog. All right. Now all these hand signals, okay. I see it now. Zimmerman asking Michael Gardner for a 3 guard.
Yeah, I'm heavy at the draw, down to a yellow.
All right, so over on C, the hammer is on the way. As I said before, yellow is currently on the back of the button for 1. Red is 2 and 3. Stone's on its way. They're sweeping it hard. Red's trying to pop. They do. Oh, wow. What does that turn into? Oh! 2 red, I think. Yeah, 2 red. 2 red, so that makes that a
6-4 ball game.
6-4 ball game, currently in favor of Dauerheim over Team Basel.
Correct.
What do you guys like? Do you like just going in?
So the first stone for the Caber Crunchers. He was asking for a draw behind. He's got the draw at the top 12. Did not quite bury. It's pretty well exposed. Just off the center in the top 12. So that's a pretty easy tee remove. He's being asked for a tee. Michael has verified the tee. Stone's being asked. It might be a little heavy, but he also might get a rub. No, he didn't get a rub.
Nope.
It's not that heavy, actually. It's back 8. No, it's back 12.
It's hanging on.
It does hang on though at the back of the house. That might matter later. That might be the winning. That might be the winning stone at the end of this. We don't know. They need to find 2. Actually, they don't really. They really only need to find 1, and then it comes down to a skip's draw.
Correct. There aren't any extra ends tonight.
Right, and with a hammer, finding a 1 is mostly a matter of keeping the front of the house clean.
Something else I have trouble with.
Your wife should be able to teach you. All right, next stone for Deidre Arnold is on the way. First, second stone. Go ahead, a better label for that. It looks like it's going to wreck off the yellow guard. But that's actually providing very effective protection for the red stone that's currently shot.
The only problem is that also provides very effective cover for the yellow at the back of the house.
Yeah, but the yellow at the back of the house doesn't score unless the red moves.
Aware.
So, although judging from what I see here, David's asking for things to go bye-bye.
Which is too early.
Too early.
No, it isn't. Never mind.
6?
There's 5 stones.
This is the 6th. Yeah, 6 stone.
This is the 6th stone. That's right.
It's fine.
That's why I was getting up.
Needs to curl in a little bit. Oh, no. That's not what he did at all. He actually asked to come out here to the other side of the sheet. Again, a little heavy. But again,
it's hanging
around. I know David's currently not excited by either of those stones, but when he gets to his skips rocks, he might be glad those are there. Deidre Arnold throwing her last stone of the game, most likely.
Rich, get closer. Yes, Rich. Yes, Rich.
And it has started to cut. It's going to wreck on the guard pile. Virtually, certainly. Maybe not. Maybe she's got room.
Nope. Yep.
No, it's a wreck on the guard pile.
But that makes life more interesting.
Yeah, because now, well, no, there's still no path to that top red, which is
hence why it makes life more interesting.
Which is probably shot. That yellow might, depending on angles, might be shot, but I think the red is shot. I'd certainly measure it if the game was on the line.
It is a mess over
This would be a lovely time for Missy Sickle to come up with something beautiful and just bring it on the button. Looks like she might be a little inside. Unfortunately, I think she's going to promote red guard, but she might be going hard enough it might take it through. Or at the very least, it's on an angle, so it's going to be exposed. Truthfully, not the worst result. Not the worst result. Not great. Not what they were looking for, but could have done a lot worse.
Exactly.
So Lance asking Alex Fu, or is that Richard? I'm sorry, Lance asking Richard Arnold to put something up in front. Just some updates. The house over on sheet A is a mess, jumbled mess, and currently yellow lying 1, red lying 2, I think. All right, so this stone's coming in, and it looks like Richard has delivered. Actually, not really. That's outside. The path is still there to hit on that shot stone.
Yeah. And
even more so, you can get to the inside of the shot stone, and no, this is not what you need to do, dude. I believe this is another unforced error on David Zimmerman. He's got an open shot at the current shot stone, and he could roll behind all of that coverage onto the button and be a powerful situation. Instead, he's cleaning up the top. And unfortunately, his stone went outside, and all he did was get rid of one of his own and create a overlapping troika of stones in front on the center. So those really can't be gotten out now. That's a problem. And Lance Wright is saying block the hole. Absolutely, 100%. That is what you do. Over on sheet C, they're working their way through seconds, stones. Red has a couple. I'm sorry, they're on vice stones.
Yeah, it's the first vice stone. No,
Or is it yellow's last second stone, I think.
Yes.
But red's currently lying 3. Yellow doesn't have anything useful to play with at the moment, although they're about to have a guard up front. But
It's biting.
Is it biting? Okay.
It's biting.
That doesn't help them much in this situation.
No.
So
And there is a gorgeous guard.
Lance Wright asking for the guard, got the guard. So now David Zimmerman's got to be wondering, what the heck am I going to do? What the heck is he going to do? He could promote his yellow that is the closest of the troika, or he could play this outer line draw. If he pulls it off, that would be a nice shot, but I feel like that's asking for an awful lot of bend. Okay, so I heard the deliverer say he was narrow.
Sweep it hard!
Sweepers are on it as hard as they can, trying to make sure that it gets past the guard pile. It is not past the guard pile. It is going to
Add to the guard pile.
Add to the guard pile. The troika is now vodka, I guess? I don't know.
There's approval for your vocabulary.
Hey, you know, my 12th grade English teacher would be so proud of me. Thank you, Mrs. Scarby. Who unfortunately passed away recently, so she's not watching. But this situation is not looking good for On the Verge to have the night. You know, when you're down 1 and you have the hammer, what you would love to have is a completely clean front of house all the way to the button for your last stone for the skip. That's why the skip gets paid the big bucks.
Exactly.
So they just have a nice clean line to the tie. That's exactly what you're asking for in this situation. If it happens to be for 2, it's a bonus. They don't have that.
No,
They have the exact opposite of that. Is there a single stone out of play? Yes, with one
Two.
stone of each color out of play at the moment. Just too much in the front of the house.
we are on Dobbs's final stone over on A.
And the situation...
I think they're lying 1.
Yes. Yellow is lying 1, and there's a big ol' mess over there. Dobbs is calling him up. They aren't up yet. All right, that looks like that's a pretty good situation. That probably puts a bow on that. I don't know that for sure.
We got a guard over here on B.
A guard, yeah. Well, why not? When you're lying,
That's a good place to be.
a guard is a great place to be. What is Zimmerman going to do? That is a risky shot that probably does not result well. He was thinking about blasting into the troika, but it's got 2 shots to do something. So you could just throw your first shot
as hard as you can and try to blast the pass.
Yeah,
open.
or alternatively, practice the draw.
That's what I would be thinking
Throw the
myself.
outer turn draw. He wants to do. He really doesn't want to blast the troika. He really wants to pick. That would be his ideal situation.
Although I think he's going to need a broom.
Yeah, I still don't understand why Dickie takes so long to lay the broom, but
Much less why he's, yeah.
and spending a lot of time discussing the shot with the other team. That's a little peculiar. All right, we have
handshakes on
handshakes
Alpha.
over on Alpha because, yep, Dobbs hung on. So Fellowship of the Rink moves on to A, stays alive in the A event.
Well, that was clear.
Lockinger drops down. Stone is on the way. He's blasting the troika. Let's see what actually he is not. Yes, he is. Well, no. He picked a guard out. That's
not helpful.
No. Potentially opens up his draw line a little bit, although I'm sure that Lance Wright has every intention of not letting that stand. Yeah. kind of looking like David Zimmerman might be in a situation where he's just kind of praying for a miracle shot.
Over on C, yellow is now lying 2.
Which is what they need, right?
Which is what they need. And it is
and they have
red's final stone.
And red has the, and yellow has the hammer. So odds are very good because the 2 the yellow is lying are not doubleable. There's no conceivable way.
No, that's a 7-10 split right there.
Yeah, and then some. So there's no conceivable way that they won't have a shot to get their 2L, because there's a conceivable way that won't have a shot to get their 2.
The sweepers are beating this one.
They are. It looks like it's going to over curl for the draw.
Put your backs
to the
into
guard.
It.
It's already over curled. It's not guarding anything meaningful. So what's there? Well, okay, it's guarding. What's there is the draw.
Yes.
That you have to touch
red.
You have to touch red to tie the game and go to a skips. That's all you got.
And this is a good practice for that throw.
But he's not looking at it.
Nope.
He's looking at the miracle. All right, so we're down to the hammer on C, and all C has to do,
hit and hang around.
Is that's
Team Basel.
Team Basel, so that's their skip. Richard Nijmegen, I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. All he really has to do is successfully nose, and he'll have the hit, and we'll be going to skip stones. And we will cut to that skip stones if it occurs, because by then the game on B will be over almost certainly, because they're getting ready to hit their hammer. Unless he manages to pull the 1, in which case we'll stay here for these skip stones, or we'll cover both skip stones probably. All right, the sheet C shot is on its way. All it really needs to be is a nose. All it really needs, the sweepers are on it pretty hard. And looks like contact. And it's probably going to stay. Yes, we have a tie. We have a tie over on C, so they'll be going to Skips Rocks. Tied at 6.
Where the controls are to swap it.
Oh. All you got to do is hit the move cameras.
Thank you.
So we will so they're taking an awfully long time to make the decision on the B shot. But he's skating down. No, he's not. He's just skating to the far end. Yeah, he is. He's just looking at his options. We will cut to the skip straw on C as soon as we can. As soon as this final shot on B has been thrown.
Actually,
no, it takes like 30 seconds to cut.
Okay.
So we will just tell you what's going on.
Let Marlis hold the broom.
Right now, they're making the decision who's going to hold brooms and stuff. So skip straws, for those of you who may not watch very often, is how we're doing the tiebreakers in this. Each team skip. You can have anybody throw it, but traditionally the skip is going to throw 1 draw. The team that scored in the 8th end, in this case, Team Basel, will throw first. That stone will be measured. That stone will be removed from the rink. Team Dauerheim will throw 1 stone. If their stone is closer, they win. If their stone is further away, they lose. If they're equal,
we throw again.
We throw again, but that never happens. So, unless they both
stone
miss.
is on its way for Team Basel.
Stone is on its way for Team Basel.
Sweepers are on it.
Not much, though. Not much, just a hair.
So it has to make the. It has to make the house to have a number, and this is not going to make the house. Unfortunately, they are out of the house, so that means that all that I assume it's Brian Dauerheim going to be throwing.
I would assume.
Yes.
And here
comes the final shot on sheet B. He's going for a tap up. He has to tap the yellow to the forefoot. His shooter needs to bend a little bit, or it's not going to happen. He's got to get past the guard. They're sweeping it for depth. Are they past the guard? They are not. No. They wreck on the guard. So unfortunately, red takes at least 1, which is all they need. That's game over. Caber Crunchers defeats On the Verge. We're going to call it 6-4. I don't know. Meanwhile, Dauerheim's stone is on the way. All he has to do is make paint.
Sweepers are now on it.
The sweepers are on it hard. It's probably there. There's no way it's going through.
It's there.
Sweepers are off of it.
Shakes already.
And
Handshakes.
it's in the house. So Dauerheim defeats Team Basel, technically 7-6. And that wraps up all of our curling, doesn't it? Yes, it does.
It does
so
for this
Thank
draw.
you very much. Somebody else will be on the headset in half an hour because TJ and I are going to be on the ice. Have a lovely evening.
Thank you for
Great night.
watching, all.